Oh hey, the one and only Dusty Bottoms here, founder of Kingdom Trucking Academy. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about something that's very important to me, how to pick a CDL school. So let's get started. Most of you that are probably watching this video might have already picked a CDL school. For the ones that haven't, you're probably like me when I was looking to get my CDL. I didn't know very many schools. I didn't know how to check up on schools to find out which ones were good, which ones were not. For me, I had enough experience most of my life driving trucks and trailers that I was able to go do the test myself. I had enough mechanical experience, things like that. I was fortunate enough, I was working in excavation at the time, and the place I was working at, the owner let me pair up with the mechanic and work with the mechanic in the shop, helping replace engines, helping replace hydraulic tanks, all of these things. This allowed me to get experience in diesel mechanics. Again, I'm not an expert, I just have experience. I can fix stuff on my truck by myself. Oh hey, the one and only Dusty Bottoms, founder of Kingdom Trucking Academy and the creator of the Kingdom Driver Training Program. The Kingdom Driver Training Program is the curriculum we use at Kingdom Trucking Academy. We have maintained a 100% passing rate using the Kingdom Driver Training Program. The Kingdom Driver Training Program is a complete set of 9 comprehensive videos. You can purchase all 9 videos at kingdomtruckingacademy.com. Each video is designed for the requirements needed to pass your CDL exam. So follow me as I guide you through each stage of your CDL exam. You can purchase each video at kingdomtruckingacademy.com for $49.99. or the complete set for $299.99. That's a great price. These videos are some of the most comprehensive videos today on the market. Our curriculum is trademarked for a reason, because Kingdom Trucking Academy is the standard. Everyone else is just second place. So go to kingdomtruckingacademy.com to get your videos today. Roll on, truckers, roll on. This is a trait that's often been lost nowadays. However, I'm one of those kind of people. I like to learn to do things myself. The laws were different. The testing was different. When I tested though, like a lot of people, I tested on straight line backing, offset, left or right. I can't remember which one I had to do. And then I had to do a parallel. I was able to figure this out and get it done. Pre-trip was one of the hardest things for me, because I had to learn the verbiage and I didn't have much to go off of. The reason I'm discussing this is because, like many of you, I was ignorant in how to find a good trucking school. I wanted my CDL. I also did not realize how difficult it was to obtain your CDL. Now things are different. In 2022, the FMCSA, along with ANVA, redid the testing format. Talked about this in many other videos. I don't like what they do. They made it a lot easier. In order to obtain your CDL, most likely, 90% of you are going to go to a CDL school. Now, there's slightly over 370 CDL schools in the United States. That's not a lot in reality. I'm not going to try to talk too much smack, but that's kind of me, and I'm a little truthful in this. Out of those 370 plus schools and contract trainers, things like that, reality, there's 350 of them that suck. They're crap. 20 plus schools in the country are probably good, legitimate schools. It might seem like a slight exaggeration, so I'll be nice. Let's say 50. There's probably 50 good quality schools in the United States that train in CDLs. You know how I know this? Well, because all the things that have recently happened. You have all of these CDL mill schools. CDL mill, kind of like a puppy mill, where they're just pumping out things, going past regulation, doing a lot of shady things just to get people through, get them licensed. All they care about is the money. Now that's great. I get it. I'm a business owner myself. Money is important. However, just like us at Kingdom Trucking Academy, there are some good schools out there that actually care about standards and quality. Most of those schools that care about quality, care about standards, are operated by former truck drivers who were also at one point or another CDL instructors or CDL examiners. Having that experience as a truck driver and also having that experience as an instructor or an examiner gives you insight that most people don't have. Now you have schools like 160 Drive Academy, which is the largest school system in the US. They're also crap. I'll tell their CEO to their face, they're crap. You're complete dog shit. You don't have a good curriculum. You don't have a format in which you train your instructors properly. I've been to your schools. I've seen your instructors train. It's dog shit. This is the kind of thing that drives me bananas. Because all they care about is bottom dollar, and they're not doing anything to get these students trained properly. They don't even have good curriculums to get these students past the CDL tests. Now, you want to get your CDL? You need to do some research. I guarantee most of you you're getting on the internet, you're looking at these things. First thing you need to do when you pull up your Google search, you're going to look in your area, look at your reviews, look at the Google reviews. Now that's easy to misskew. Now that's easy to skew the numbers slightly. I know one school that's a competitor of mine in the KC metro area. They have good reviews, but they skew the numbers. The owner's constantly calling up and contacting anyone that gives a bad review and giving them free stuff, doing anything they can to get them to take the review down. That's skewing the numbers. Now, as a business owner, that's smart business practice. I understand what they're doing, but they're also shady. They were never a truck driver, believe it or not. They went to work at a school for a little bit and were fired. Then they went off, did something else in the trucking industry, not really ever driving truck themselves, and then started a school. Sad thing is, before I came along and started Kingdom Trucking Academy, they are probably the best school in the Kansas City metropolitan area. Which leads me to my next thing. If you are looking for a school to go to, you need to check and see whether they're third-party certified. What third-party certified means is the state has certified them to administer their own tests. Now that's a good thing. It's a good thing for you as a student. It's a good thing for the business. It's also very hard to come by. Now some states like Missouri, Texas, they're a little bit more lenient in the qualifications to become third-party certified. I'm not talking smack on those states. I'm just saying they're a little bit more lenient in how they become third-party certified. Now they're still overseen by the FMCSA. They can get audited at any time. They need to stay on the up and up. Now there's been several schools over the years that have been rated by the FBI, feds, FMCSA comes in. They're required to be audited. They're required to hold files for at least 3 years. A lot of schools do this, a lot of schools don't. Again, I said there's a lot of shady schools, but do your due diligence. Check on that. Also, another thing to look at is when you do contact this school, the salesman's going to give you the greatest sales spiel they can. That's just what salespeople do. But you need to ask them this. Are you third-party certified? What's your first-time pass rate? What that means is every student that goes through, what's their first-time pass rate? Not what's their pass rate. Because again, a lot of people can lie. They might have somebody test 4, 5, 6 times. Technically, you're only supposed to test 4 times in a 6-month period. So what you need to do is ask them, what's your first time pass rate? Do you have metrics? Can you quantify that number? They can't actually give you a legitimate number. There's your first red flag. If they're not third-party certified, what you also need to look at is, and that's not a bad thing, a lot of schools starting up are not third-party certified. Kingdom Trucking, we're still working on getting our third-party certification. That's because we have to wait a certain number of years before we qualify for it in the state of Kansas. But don't worry, we will, because we're a great school. Look at what is the wait period to test. So you enroll on a Monday. How many hours do you have to attend the school? Is it 160 hours, 180 hours? Some of these schools brag that they offer 160 hours, 180 hours. Well, it's not necessarily a good thing at all. One, a lot of these schools skew those numbers. Two, you don't necessarily need 160 hours or 180 hours just to pass the CDL test. What a lot of these motor carriers want to hire new drivers is those number of hours. But again, this is an arbitrary, made-up number. There is nothing that says you have to have any kind of minimum behind the wheel hours or any drive hours to qualify to test for your CDL. Again, this is something the motor carriers look at. But let me tell you a little secret. Motor carriers need butts in the seat. It's one of the reasons we're having so many problems nowadays with some of the quality of drivers. Because a lot of these schools are churning people out because, again, these motor carriers want people, they want butts in the seat. There's a high loss rate with new drivers. Like I said, trucking industry, the numbers, we always need more drivers. But first-time drivers, there's a hard retention rate for that. A lot of people don't last in the industry. They get burnt out, they get run ragged, they go to a motor carrier that's not very good, that doesn't care. Thing is, you need to understand, don't listen to the salespeople. Seriously, don't listen to them. They don't know, they're just feeding you crap. That's just what they do. Let me be honest with you. Like any industry, one of my closest friends is a pipe fitter. He became a master pipe fitter. He had to go through journeyman school 5 years. It took him 5 years to go through the school. That's the standard. That's how long it took him. Makes amazing money. It's a good career for him. Those 5 years sucked. It was a lot of work. His first year was the worst. His second year got slightly better. His first year, he spent mostly pushing a broom. You know why? Because they want to see if you have what it takes. They're trying to break you. They're trying to weed out the bad people. You need to look at the trucking industry just like that. Every first year driver, they're trying to get the most out of you. They're trying to see if you want to stay in this thing. They're going to use you up and spit you out. If you understand that, if you go into it with that understanding, you should not get burnt out. There are so many different facets in the trucking and transportation industry that you can go into driving. You want to go in the over the road, understand this, you're going to be gone a lot. Don't let it use you up and spit you out. You have to go in there eyes wide open. Back to my point. When looking for a trucking school, make sure if they're third party certified. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a deal breaker. Also, ask, what is the owner? What is the owner's background? Because the owner background will tell you a lot about the quality of the school. There is another quote unquote school. It's not really a school, they do contract training. They go out to companies and train their employees to get their CDL. It is owned by somebody who used to drive trucks 30 years ago, then went and worked in logistics. Never ran a school, never worked for a school, doesn't know anything about schooling. They have a terrible curriculum. They don't really have a curriculum. They hire former drivers, retired drivers, they give them a sheet, a pre-trip sheet, and say, show them how to do it. They don't teach them the correct verbiage, they don't teach them the correct steps. They have a terrible curriculum, or lack thereof. That's the thing you need to look at. Do all the instructors teach the same way? Because I know at Kingdom Trucking Academy, all of our instructors teach the exact same way because I trained them to teach that way. I've built and designed a curriculum that must be followed and adhered to by all of my instructors. That way, every instructor is replaceable. And I don't mean that in a bad way. What I mean by that is if a student goes to instructor A, asks them a question, instructor A is going to give them the same exact answer as instructor B. We're trained all the same way. There's one way to pass the test. That's how you need to do it. I've been doing this long enough. I've been an instructor long enough, worked for enough different schools. I've overseen enough programs. And I was in the trucking industry for well over 2 decades that I do know what I'm doing when it comes to this. I also know there's a lot of trucking schools that are crap. Currently, the TPR, which is the Training Provider Registry, asks you to self-certify. The ATA and the SBTA has now complained about this self-certification, that the FMCSA needs to start auditing these schools. I agree. A lot of these schools self-certify. I remember when I had to do it. You self-certify these things, but you don't have to actually provide a curriculum or do anything like that. Well, here in Kansas, as a school, not as a trainer or a private training company, there's a lot of schools get around that by being a private training company. That's actually how Kingdom Trucking started out because of this. Some schools, some states require you to get registered with a Board of Regents, which is a schooling oversight. The Board of Regents requires you to have a curriculum, a built-in program, all of these things. So now you have 2 different government agencies that are overseeing you. That's oversight from 2 government agencies. Now, it's not necessarily saying a lot, but it is saying that you do have some repercussions if you're not following a particular protocol. These, again, are all things you probably don't know about, but now I'm telling you that you need to look into when you're going to a school. What are the set hours? What was the owner's background? How long has this school been in business? What is their first-time pass rate? Are they third-party certified? If they're not third-party certified, what is the wait time to get tested after you complete the course? These are the things that you need to ask when deciding whether or not to go to a particular trucking school. Financially speaking, there's all different routes, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. I hope you found this informative. If you did, give us a like and subscribe. I'm the one and only Dusty Bottoms, your trucking messiah. Roll on, truckers. Roll on.